Hey guys, in today's Book to Screen, I'm going to be talking about World War Z starring Brad Pitt. A quick summary about the movie. Brad Pitt plays Jerry Lane, who is a retired United Nations employee. But he is called back to service when a zombie-like pandemic breaks out across the entire globe. It's his job to find the source base of how the virus started, and his mission to also find some type of cure to stop it from spreading. My initial thoughts about the movie, I originally was not that excited to even see this movie. I read the book first, and I really enjoyed the book. So when I saw the first trailers for the movie, I immediately noticed that this did not seem anything like the book. It had more of a type, the blockbuster type of look to it, with CG and special effects and just action everywhere. Whereas the book isn't like that. The book is much more tame and focusing on the people and the survivors and their stories. But I was still very curious to watch the movie and form an opinion. And I was highly surprised that I actually really enjoyed the movie. The movie is still nothing like the book, but the movie still had just a summer feel to it and a good popcorn flick. I was seriously on the edge of my seat during many scenes. There was a lot of really great scares and just a lot of intensity. But what were some of the things that the movie brought from the book? There wasn't that much, but there were a few things. For one thing, in the movie, Brad Pitt's character is a retired United Nations employee. But he is still called in and he has to find the cure to the virus and find out how the virus started. Now, this is sort of semi-like the book. In the book, a United Nations employee is going around post-apocalypse. And he's gathering all these stories of survival and death. And he is also trying to find where the source base of the virus started. In both the movie and the book, it's kind of the same in regards to what both the characters are searching for. Just in the movie, Brad Pitt is doing all this during the apocalypse, and then in the book, the character or the narrator is doing all this post-apocalypse. As far as characters from the book, there are no, specific characters listed. Some characters in the movie kind of seems like a prototype maybe of some character from the book, but there was no one with a name directly from the book. Most events in the movie are kind of casually brought from the book. There is a scene in the book, for instance, where the Israelis are inviting the Palestinians and all those Arab countries into their country, and they have this grand wall, I guess. And the movie brings that over. Also in the book, the military, I believe, usually refer to the zombies as Zeeks, and the movie does the same thing. I found myself amused with that. I was thinking to myself, I don't think people who have not read the book would understand the reference, because even my sister, for instance, my sister had seen the movie, and I was telling her about the Zeeks, and she said, oh, I thought they were referring to someone's name. And then I was like, no, that's what the military referred to them as. But yeah, that's something that was brought over from the book, a word usage. But yeah, there's nothing specific totally brought over from the book. It's more just, if you've read the book, little things will kind of pop out at you. So now I'm going to move on to the violence level of this movie, which really surprised me. I was fully expecting this to be this really graphic, gory movie, because most zombie movies or shows show entrails and brains splattering all over the place. So I was watching this movie with my hand prepared to cover my face, because I'm such a baby and I'm so squeamish about blood. I was just doing that very early on in the movie when I really didn't have to, because I started realizing that there was nothing gory or graphic going on. The violence is all very, very tame, and I think the movie might have done that so that way teenage audiences could come and enjoy it. So basically what I'm saying, if you happen to watch the Resident Evil movies or the Walking Dead TV show, you're not going to get that level of gore and violence. Like I said, the violence is very tame and controlled, and you don't really see it that much. It's kind of blurred the majority of the time. There's even a part Brad Pitt has to cut off the hand of a character, and they don't even show that. There's no graphic headshots like most movies do. And you don't see zombies digging out entrails and eating brain. There were two things about the movie that annoyed me. The first thing was the CGI. The large zombie scenes where the zombies were piling up and doing things, those were very obviously CG effects. And half the time I didn't really think they were that good of effects because you could clearly just kind of see the blurriness of it. It was just all very, very blurry and you couldn't really tell what was happening. In general, with these large zombie scenes, I found it really difficult to distinguish between who was a zombie and who was human. Everything on the screen was very chaotic and kind of messy in my opinion, and I just found my head going all over the screen trying to figure out where I was supposed to be looking. You couldn't even really tell who was a zombie half the time until the camera like zoomed in and focused on a zombie, and you could see like their eyes and their teeth. The second thing that annoyed me about the movie was the easy help, I'll call it, that Jerry received throughout the entire movie. I mean, seriously, you know, in most zombie apocalypse movies or shows, there's this great sense of every man for himself, or people looking out for their group, and that you don't want outsiders coming in, and a lot of people are more concerned about their self-preservation. In this movie, I found it kind of hilarious to a point that Jerry was receiving just perfect and constant help in his quest to find this cure for the virus. The first thing that happened was Jerry went into, I guess, a pharmacy, and he was looking for some medication for his daughter's asthma. And he went in there to get the medication, and this guy came out with a gun and was about to shoot him. But then Brad Pitt explained, oh, I gotta get some medication for my daughter. And the guy was like, okay, and he handed over the medication without no problem. The second thing that happened was that Brad Pitt, or Jerry, since he was part of the UN in the past, he received a call, and his friend was like, oh, we'll get you out of there, so get on the rooftop and we'll come get you with our helicopter. And that was all very quick and easy, and just convenient, I felt. Later, when Jerry gets to Israel, the zombies happen to come through there, and he's trying to escape, and so someone says, oh, get this man to the airfield and make sure he gets out of the country so he can go on his quest. And Jerry had like this huge escort of people helping him to get to the airfield, and no one was worried about themselves. It's just, I found all that not believable. Even at the end of the movie, Jerry gets to a World Health Organization area, and he's momentarily strapped down because the lab doctors are kind of suspicious of him, but then he explains himself, and it's like, oh, okay, we like you, we trust you, and then they just immediately go with his plans to do things. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that everything for Jerry's character was very convenient and just a straight line, and he kind of really didn't come across any type of troubles. Everything was just very easy for him, and people just supported him and did anything he said. One of my favorite parts of the movie was probably actually the ending of the movie when Jerry gets to the World Health Organization area. This is where the movie sort of calmed down. Things were not hectic and chaotic. This part of the movie reminded me a lot about kind of your typical zombie movie. You got people trying to go around the zombies and be sneaky and stealthy and be creative about killing the zombies and getting around them. But yeah, this whole ending scene was probably my favorite. I loved the intensity. I seriously did not know what was going to happen. It was just really, really great, and easily the best part of the entire movie. Okay, so that's it for my review of World War Z. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed the movie. Even though there were a few things that kind of frustrated me and annoyed me, I kind of forgive them for it, but I really loved the movie, and just a lot of great intensity to it. It wasn't constant action, which I enjoyed. I hate when a movie is just constant action and there's no type of development. So you would have moments of action and then a calm moment and then some action and a calm moment. And I really liked that. I loved that pace, personally. I did a book review earlier in June, I believe it was, for the book. So if you want to hear my thoughts, go check this out. And I also suggest you go see the movie. I really liked it. Like I said, it was kind of like just a popcorn flick and just really great to watch. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!